It's already been 3 months since we are 2025. And this year I want to make a review, an update of my language learning in each quarter. So last year I could do only 1.5 year update, and hopefully this year I will make a quarter update. So let's get started. The first 3 months there were many things. I had to work a lot, and so I have changed my job last year in October. So the first months were okay, but then since the beginning of this year I had to take more responsibility. My call-on duties have started, so I had the feeling that I don't really have time to learn language. So, and when I didn't work, then I was often outside traveling. So my sister has come to visit me. I spent time with her. We traveled a lot, and at the end of February I also took a holiday. So there were many short travels or holidays in between working. I had two main aims that I wanted to achieve. So the first one was to read more. So I realized that I don't really read that much. Most of the time I read stuff regarding my work, but I don't really take a book at hand, a novel, and I don't really read much fiction, and I miss that. So I want to read more this year. So that's why I started to read consciously. I use different mediums to read books. I try physical books, I try ebooks, I try audiobooks, I try every type of mediums to keep me in move for reading. And I've also started to read many books in parallel, so that I don't get stuck with one book and that I don't get bored or demotivated. For example, I have one novel in German as a physical book. I have one book on link as an ebook in English. I listen to one Turkish novel as an audiobook. I read one non-fiction book in English. I mean, I read many books in parallel, and I'm almost in the middle of each book. So my hope is that I can finish these books by the end of June. The second thing I wanted to do, and I have done, was to track my language learning time. So as I said, I always got the feeling that I don't have time for language learning. So I've decided to track the time I spent on language learning actively. That's why I've decided to use an app. So I don't write it on a paper. So I find it tedious to write each minute on a paper. So I've started to use an app, and I've learned a way to automate tracking thanks to another YouTube video. I will try to find it again and share it in the description. So I've made it automated. When I turn on one of my language learning apps, then there is a pop-up menu. Then there's the list of the language that I'm learning. Then I just choose the language I'm working on. Then the app on the background starts to track the time. So then at the end of the week or at the end of the month, then I can check a report and see how much time I've spent on each language and what kind of activities I've done. I've only tracked the time I've spent on language learning apps, so I haven't tracked the time when I listen to podcasts, for example, or when I have watched a movie or when I watch a video. I haven't tracked this time because those are like kind of passive learning activities. I haven't tracked that. I've just tracked the time when I learn on Booster, on Bubble, or when I learn on Link, for example. I would like to take a look on the first quarter report with you. So this is the summary of it, the language that I worked on, and the total hours, and these are the projects are the language that I learn, and those are the activities. So I spent in total almost 48 hours. I wish it would be more, but that's what I could do in those busy times. I think it's like almost 20 minutes every day when we if we calculated the most of the time I've spent on Portuguese. So this is a new language for me, and I've traveled at the end of February to Portugal. That's why I wanted to learn some basics of the language to get an idea of this language. That's why I've spent most of my time, especially in January, with Portuguese. I've used the learning practice Portuguese app. You can also see there is a large portion of time entries for this app, and I really like it. Now I don't learn that intensively the Portuguese, but I enjoyed it and I hope to keep learning. Other than Portuguese, most of my time I've spent was on English and German, and those were mostly the time I also spent with reading novels. I've tracked the time I spent on Link. I've uploaded my ebooks on Link, so I can also check the vocabulary easily and save the words that I come across. So almost half of the time I've spent then on activities with Link, and then so 10% of my time entries were Busso. That's for my Italian learning. I spent some time in Memrise, small portion of it. That's my Persian language activities. The Persian is just the 4% of my time. That's my weakest language. The Italian and French are almost in the same level. I have it's changed. So 1 week I really want to learn more Italian, and 1 week I just want to learn more French. So it depends on the mood, I guess. And my French activities, but they are really low here. So I learned it on Bubble, and I've done a bit class master for French. I've realized that I don't really do active learning on French, but most of my time I've listened to podcasts or watched videos. And this time, as I say, I don't track. I started to listen to Easy French podcast a lot. Right now I enjoy it. I don't have a membership, but I'm thinking of making a membership for the podcast. On the other hand, I also think I already have many apps and resources, so I'm not sure if I don't find really time to spend on the activities that I would get with the Is a French membership. So that was a little update of my language learning. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can also enjoy your language learning progress, and see you next time.